Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Guys,
So we're gonna have some fun tonight. This stream is not very deep. It's more of an example, and it's a how-to. Gee, you know what? We're gonna tie some of these things into red pill stuff. Red pill and ideology or praxeology? Well, we'll go with praxeology. It's a practice. For tonight, we're going to go with that. And so the title of today's stream is Shoes Make the Man. So let's start out with an old advertisement. Let me increase. Oops. Okay. This is probably an advertisement from the 40s or 50s. So I go for a tall man. Okay, and then you have the address. Okay. Look at the
elevators.
picture. Yeah.
There's your red pill
2
right
inches
there.
taller.
Elevators do so many wonderful things for you. You slip on a pair and grow almost 2 inches taller at once. It's truly amazing because they look and feel just like any other fine quality shoes that you've ever worn. 31 styles. Sport, dress. Most styles are $24.95. I think that was more money than most shoes cost back then.
Probably. But the shoes also lasted a lot longer, didn't
Yeah. So, yeah,
Wow.
this
I looked up the inflation conversion rate. Those shoes, $295 today.
yeah, that's not that much money for a good pair of shoes, a good new pair of shoes. So, a little bit of history of shoes in the US. It was a huge, and I mean huge business in the 30s, 40s, 50s, really right up until the 70s. It was a major employer. You had major shoe hubs in Wisconsin and in New England. And they made very, very high quality men's and women's shoes. Skilled craftsmen.
And
Go ahead.
you keep going, then I'll add something.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, about mid 70s, we started getting, or early 70s, we started getting inflation. And we started seeing labor costs in other countries drop, and shoe companies started going out of business. And also, they had to compete. And things were actually changing back then. So the quality actually started to decline. Probably not much before the mid 70s. But then shoe companies started going out of business. And right now, it's probably about two good quality men's dress shoes manufacturers in the US. One is Allen Edmonds. They have modestly priced shoes, dress shoes. You're going to spend, maybe on sale, you're going to get them for 180 but dollars, but generally they're going to be, 250 up to And they have some that are up to $800, $850.
Oh,
And the now you can get really good quality men's shoes from China. Still some from Italy. Spain was a big place. A lot of things went to Mexico. Um, so we are actually going to talk about shoes and how shoes make the man.
okay, Steve. Now I got something to add.
Yeah.
You also remember you had all. I remember when I was really little, right? So I'm 36 years old, guys. So I remember I was really little. So this is after a lot of the places were going overseas, and a lot of the companies already shut in. But there's a lot of what were they? Were the shoe repair stores, right? You could find one. You'd find them everywhere. It seemed when I was young. And that's where you took your shoes. They replaced the soles. You know, they worked. I think someone did some leather work too. Some of them knew how to do leather work and all sorts of things, right?
Right.
You'd be hard pressed to find a very fine one, except unless you live in a major city. Your best bet is if somehow they worked on cowboy boots. That might be your best option.
True
What do you
enough.
think?
There used to be in a city of let's say 40, 50,000 people, you would probably have 5 or 6 shoe repair places. It used to be very common. I mean, I live in Fargo. There's one left, and he's done some work for me, and I'll show you one of the pairs he did. There's also one guy that I've stopped in. He's down in Breckenridge, Minnesota. It's a
Okay.
town of about 10,000 people. He's retired. He doesn't really make any business from it, but it's what he does. And he comes in and he putts around. But most of his business is actually cowboy boots. Even in Minnesota, most of it's cowboy boots. So now from a red pill perspective, shoes make the man. Because, okay, number one, everybody talks about, oh, women want height. Yeah, they like height. But women really can't do math very well. They want a 6 foot tall man. The average man is what, 5'10"? And
Maybe a little
so
shorter. I
if
don't
you
know, but around there.
something 5'9", 5'10". I mean, it's higher up. I live in North Dakota, Minnesota, so we're a little bit taller up here. But you know what? If you wear a nice pair of shoes, automatically you're going to gain a little bit. It's not just the height. You're going to have a different posture. They change the way you walk and you stand.
Hmm.
And okay, so automatically just you get a little bit of height out of it. So even if you're close to 6 foot like I am, hey, 6'1", 6'1.5", that's not bad. But I've also heard that women judge a man in the first 20, 30 seconds.
Oh yeah. I had confirmation of that last night.
You want to tell your story, Nick?
Oh yeah, I do my thing. Uh, I I just have a way of talking to people. It's ingrained in me. Used to be a salesman, then I picked up the red pill. Used to be a pastor. So talking to people is my thing. But that was there's a pretty little girl. I was just talking to her a little bit, and it's like, yeah, what do you think about shoes? Is it right that like you prejudge a guy based on his shoes before anything else? Pretty much, it's like, yeah, kind of, pretty much. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, so if you're wearing a nice pair of shoes, She's going to look in. Remember, she's going to look. She's going to look at you from the top to the bottom and back up. She's assessing everything about you. It's unconscious, but it's also conscious. So if you're wearing a nice pair of shoes, how easy is it for her to put you in the, oh, he's a loser category? Oh, damn, that one's out. You can't, automatically, she can't put you in the loser category. Oh, he's interesting. What other categories can't she put him in? She can't entirely dismiss you. Okay, automatically, you're a little bit taller. You're well dressed. You know what? About the worst she can do is put you in the he's an asshole category.
I know another category she can't put you
I like
in.
that category.
Oh, what's that, Plutarch?
She can't put you in the poor category.
Oh,
Yeah. So, okay, I got a pair of shoes here. Let me know. Are these going to impress you?
yeah, they look great.
No.
I think they look good.
These ones need work, don't they?
These look like shit.
Well,
You
now
see
that
all these
cool.
wrinkles here?
Oh, the wrinkles. Well, I didn't see that earlier, so that's why.
Okay, that's why
Yeah.
I put the camera on them. Okay.
Okay.
These look like hell. You're not going to impress a woman with shoes that look like this. But are these bad shoes?
No.
No. You can buy shoes like this and you can bring them back. So, compare those shoes to, okay, these. Now, are these nice looking shoes?
They look a lot sharper.
These are Florshans. And they have a leather sole. Do you know what? These look wrinkled when I got them. Well, kind of like those. But I know how to fix them. And then, you put some shoe polish on them. You get them shiny. And you walk in, and you know what? The women will notice. Okay, remember, you automatically have a little bit extra height. Your posture is better. So I'm going to show you some more examples of shoes. But before we do that, I'm going to share something else. Let's see. Present. Oh, I have to.
Yeah, I figured that out in high school.
Oops, on this one. Okay. Look at this. It's from the Saturday Evening Post. It's an
Are we going
advertisement.
old school tonight, Steve? Are we going old school?
Not entirely, but a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, walk like a man who's going places. Okay, now let's look at this advertisement. Look at this man. Okay, first of all, he's got a hat on. Kind of increases his height. Yeah, men used to wear hats. Gee, you're wearing a baseball cap with some logo on it, some John Deere cap or some seed corn hat.
I like
They're going to
my.
put you in a category. You wear a different hat. Gee, he doesn't fit that category. Okay, so let's read what it says. It counts a lot these days how you meet the world. Meet it with a spring in your step. Meet it with quality on your feet. Meet it with confidence in your heart. The man who lives next to you and works next to you is grading up his personal appearance. How about your own? The Rob Lee spring in your step. There is an actual reason for it. The Rob Lee tread straight principle. It's an exclusive built-in construction feature that gently tends to cause your feet to ease your feet straight ahead. See diagram. Okay, before we go to the diagram, look at the man. Yeah, he's pretty handsome. Okay, he's wearing a suit. Okay, he's well dressed. Look at his physique. Broad shoulders. Of course, shoulder pads help. But he's not fat. So it implies something similar to six-pack. You know, we're not
taper.
literally, but the taper.
There's a little, there's a taper. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's that in his hand?
Newspaper.
Oh, what do you think he's looking at in the newspaper?
If I had to guess it,
probably
this is the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's looking at his stock prices. So he's well dressed. He's rich. So he's, for the equivalent, he's probably making six figures. He's probably 6 foot tall. He's probably got abs. And you know what? Oh, he's wearing some really nice shoes. And he's got that, he's walking with a swagger. Now, how's your walk?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read this. Okay. Do you have duck feet? Okay, this is duck feet on one side. Is the spread eagle starboard, then larboard? Okay, you got a duck foot walk. Are you going to impress
That's
the
a
women?
fat walk. That's a lard walk.
Uh-huh. Okay. The next one, your toes are pointed in. That's the pigeon toed. So you almost
see many of
trip
those.
yourself each step.
Huh.
Does that impress women?
No.
No. Oh, his feet go straight ahead and he walks stridently. He knows where he's going. He's got confidence. He's got a nice walk. He's not waddling back and forth or, tripping over
Shoulders
himself, pigeon toe. Okay. This is how you carry yourself. Now, would shoes really fix this? Probably not.
So
But it's a marketing ploy.
This is actually fantastic marketing. And I was actually born a little bit pigeon-toed. And my doctor said, oh, it's really easy. You just rotate your feet out when you walk and you just think about it consciously. And I did that for a few years and now I'm fine. But the shoes don't fix it. Like, we know that now. But the marketing, this, guys, is an example of fantastic marketing. This whole thing.
Okay. Well, the other thing I want to point out is, we talk about these modern women who want the 666. Oh, and they're so terrible. Hey, Rob Lee, this is probably from the 50s because they kind of went out of business and the style is 50s too. Is the 666 a new thing? I mean, the sentiment behind it.
No,
I don't think so.
It's female nature.
But the numbers are a bit arbitrary. A bit.
Well, back then, a man wouldn't be making $100,000. If he made $10,000, he'd probably be a high value man.
Yep.
So, I mean, that part is relative.
What
but
if
the
they live in
sentiment
Europe?
is
They
the
don't-
same.
What about what? That's what I'm saying. The number's kind of arbitrary. So if you lived in Europe, right, you're on the metric system. So
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna it's what 1.86 is meters is 6 feet tall or something like that, if I recall
yeah,
my conversions correctly.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah, a
who
2 meter
did
man. Oh, that a 2 meter man, you know. But the Europeans aren't using the twos.
no,
on one of Elena's Saturday shows, we talked about the women in China, and they had a height requirement in centimeters, and I forget what it computed out to. It's like
I think it was like 5'9"
five,
or something like that. Might have
yeah,
been lower than that.
5'8" or 5'9" or 5, and then they'd lower it down to 5'7" or 5'6" when they got desperate. So okay, still height.
Oh, the leftover.
They
women.
wanted a man who would pay 300,000 won as a bride price, which equates to, I don't know, 50,000, 40 to 50,000. And he had to have a certain salary, and he had to have some charisma, however you want to define that. I mean, they talked about that.
The conversion on that is 42,000.
Yeah, okay. Right. So now, you see these styles. So men, it was actually marketed to men to dress to attract women. What is marketed to men now to look good to women?
Well, not much because everybody's all into the stupid ass sneakers, in my opinion. And what do I do with them? I go walking, I go running in that. I don't go to work. I don't go out to meet people with that unless I just don't care at that point in time.
How much? Okay, Steve, I got to ask because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you have an example somewhere. But how much marketing like that do we even do for men anymore? I don't see a lot of it.
We don't. Men don't read magazines. We just watch college and pro football. What are they marketing to us?
I
Beer
will tell you this.
Beer,
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
and cars.
It's not always marketing. It's also what a son observes his father doing. So, like my father, we our voice is almost exactly the same. So if you'd call us, you probably wouldn't know which one's talking to you. It's kind of weird. Uh, um, but also we have the same shoe size. So early on, when I was like 17, 18, he started, hey son, these are a good pair of shoes. He'd buy 2 pairs, one for him and one for me. He'd get me a lot of times it was Clark's, and I still wear Clark's to this day. It's a really good shoe, and I really like the brand, but I would have never had any idea, except I saw my dad doing that. I'm like, oh, maybe my dad knows something that I don't know, and I learned eventually.
Right. Speaking of memories, I remember my dad had a pair of long neck or long wing Blukers.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows what those are, do you? Let me show you a pair
Okay.
of long wing Blukers. The classic long wing Blucher. Okay, this is a Florsheim Imperial. So we'll just go with this one. So you notice how hefty the sole is. Okay, two double oak layer. And it's called a long wing because, it starts out with a wing up here, really deep wing, and then it continues all the way around the side.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, and so these are classic. And then notice the heel. Do you know what this heel is known as? No, a suicide heel. Because all these
What's a
nails.
suicide heel? Okay.
Okay.
Words we can't say on YouTube. That's what it is.
Oh, but it's okay. Well, yeah, I didn't mean anything about killing. Sorry. But
We know
okay, you
that.
see all the
It's just the
those
name of the
nails
heel.
on there? Yeah, you see all these nails on here?
Mhm.
And then this is a V cleat. A metal V cleat.
Okay.
Okay, can you imagine how these shoes would be on ice?
You're gonna die.
You're gonna Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
But okay, they made them that way, and then okay, remember, all heels were made of leather up until they started to use rubber for the heels, and that probably started in the 30s or 40s.
Okay.
But okay, you don't have to have heels like that. It's just kind of okay. Shoes are a little bit of a hobby for me as I've learned more. And you know what? You think it's expensive? No, not really. I mean, you can buy some really good shoes for cheaply. And here is the best example. Okay, this shoe. Okay, again, it's a Florsheim shoe. And it has a replacement. It has a cat's paw heel, which is an old heel, replacement heel. So somebody put a replacement heel on here. Now these pair of shoes. How much do you think I paid for these? Nick, you got a number. Pull out your number. What is it?
Okay. Well, I think you got them used, right?
Yes?
Was this the ex priest?
No. No, I just bought
Okay,
them
so I'm
recently.
guessing you paid like $50 for them.
$32.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Do you know what? You can buy shoes similar to this today. You know how much they would cost? What they do
300?
retail for? 800.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because this shoe has some really special leather. It's called shell cordovan. Comes from the horse's ass, the rear portion. And it's very special leather that does not crease. So normal leather is like $10 a square foot or whatever. This is $100 a square foot. So
But it doesn't crease.
yeah, because it doesn't crease. So you have to be a real shoe snob to say, "Oh, I got some shell cordovan shoes," and nobody
Huh.
cares. But they're fun to own, and you know what? They look spectacular. So the point is, you can get some really good shoes on eBay, but you have to know a little bit about how to what to do with shoes. Okay, if you buy a pair of shoes, because nobody knows how to take care of shoes anymore. But if you know what you're looking for, you can go and buy a really, really nice pair of shoes. And then you got to learn how to maintain your shoes anyway. Not that much more work to restore a pair of shoes. So first of all, here's what you look for. Go to eBay. You want US made. And and you want some old shoes. Yeah, they may have some wrinkles in the toes. But yeah, that's not a problem. You can fix that. You're going to want leather soles. I mean, at least one pair with leather soles. Come on, guys. You could, okay, you're going to spend 50 to $100 on this. You got enough.
Why do you want
disposable
leather
income.
soles, Steve? What's a practical reason why they should want leather soles?
Well, the most practical reason is if you pick US made and leather soles, you're going to get something that was made in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You're going to get a good quality pair of shoes. They're going to be dress shoes. Yeah, they're not going to be quite as comfortable as tennis shoes, but you know what? Dress shoes don't have to be uncomfortable. So first of all, you're looking for quality. And if you do this, the uppers, the top portion, you can restore that. Yeah, you're not going to wear leather shoes in the snow and in the rain because that kind of they don't work good
Come
because
that.
your feet get wet.
Well,
and
you can do your cowboy boots if you first get them in the rain and break them in.
well, you can get rubbers or galoshes, those thin ones to put at the bottom of your shoes.
Okay.
So you can wear them out, but you just don't want to get them wet. Not that it destroys the shoes.
Oh, you're talking about the
it shortens
soles.
the
You don't
wear.
want to get the soles wet because okay, yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was thinking of a more practical reason. So
okay.
ladies like a good pair of shoes, but also if you find a lady, you're out and about, you find a lady and there's some music on. A lot of times they like to dance.
Yes.
And it's easier to dance with the leather soles
Oh, yeah. They're
lying
perfect.
around on the floor. Yeah. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah. Well, that's very true. But how many people know how to dance?
Not many.
Oh, let's see. I have to figure out how to do this now. I want to share something else. Present. I have to find a Word document. Where do I find that?
You gotta
Is that on a window? Can you help me out, Plutarch?
What are you looking for? You want to share a window?
Yeah, it's a Word. I have a Word document out.
Okay, so
Where
you're
do I
going to go present share screen. Okay. And
Entire
then
screen?
there will be, well, it depends on what browser you're using. So,
Yeah.
entire screen would work if you have more than one screen. Otherwise, you want to share a window.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Share screen. Yeah.
We're
Maybe I
having a
have to bring
boomer
it up.
moment over here.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I got to bring it up first.
For Windows, yes. If you want to share a window, yeah, probably.
I still can't get it. Select tab. Microsoft. Entire window. Okay. Document. Is this it? Okay.
There you go.
Okay, this is it. So I'm going to do something fun. We're going to have a contest tonight
Oh.
because I restored these shoes. So you know what? I want to share something with our people, and there are multiple prizes. So I'm gonna gift and mail a pair of shoes to 5 people. So, first prize automatically goes to Shoe Tie.
I love it.
You know
Good
why?
name.
Because of his name.
Sad thing is, I don't think he started watching yet tonight. I think he's works.
Well, you know what? We'll get into that. Second place goes to the first person with 11D size. Because that's my size. I got some that I bought, and I like restoring
That's my
them, and then I
size.
get too many. So, okay, you guys can enter too. Third place. Okay, this one goes to a random person that comments with their shoe size and width only. Okay, so here's how you do it. You comment, leave a comment on our video, not a chat, a comment. Your name, and then just put very brief 11D or 10.5C or whatever it is. Okay. Now, most of our listeners are men, but I'm not going to discriminate against women. So if a woman wants to enter this contest, she can leave a comment. She needs to identify herself as a woman and leave her size. And okay, fourth place goes to a random person with another 11D. And then the consolation prize goes to a fifth person with 11D. And here I'm going to show you the consolation prize after this. So, first, second, and
Good my
third
lord.
also receive shoe trees. Now we're going to go into that. That's important. And women are only eligible for third place. Okay, I said this: to enter or claim, you need to leave a comment, not a chat, and I will respond to your comment if you win. Then you will need to email me, and we'll figure out the contact. And I'll we'll get in contact. So here's the last bit. The contest concludes in 6 days.
Oh.
So you don't have to be listening right now. That's not a problem. It's all in comments. So for the next 6 days, we're gonna, monitor the comments, and you can hopefully win this. Yep. Then I'll mail you out some shoes. So you're wondering, how much is this gonna cost me? Well, first of all, who cares? I can pick up these shoes for 20-30 bucks. A good pair of shoe trees is also going to cost 20-30 bucks. So 50 bucks, 10 bucks shipping. You know what? I'm a single guy. And I don't spend a lot of money.
Do people even know what shoe trees are?
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Oh, okay. Hey, somebody had a question. What's D width?
Yeah, I knew we were going to have to get there. Okay. Shoes. This is in the old world. You had your different sizes, and they went by half sizes. And US sizes are different than the UK and are different than the EU. I'm talking US sizes, and there's equivalencies. So for US shoe sizes, you had width A, narrow, B, a little bit wider, C, and D, and E. Okay, then if your feet were narrower than A, you had double A or triple A. And if your feet were wider than E, you had double E and triple E. So let's see, double A or triple A, double A, B, C, D, E, double E, triple E. Okay, 9 different widths. And you would get your shoes in the width that fit you. Now, you go buy shoes. You can buy M, which is medium. That corresponds to a D.
Or what a lot of times I see is like even for sneakers, it's like they have the normal size and they have a wide size.
Right. You got normal, which is also M, and you got W.
Okay.
So we went from 9 sizes down to 2 sizes. But okay, that's sneakers. Okay, you can get away with it there. But in dress shoes, no, they had all these different widths. So if your shoes, okay, now people's feet have gotten wider in recent years, in the last 20, 30 years. It used to be people had smaller
is
feet
that?
and narrower feet. Genetics, we're all fatter, different nutrition. So if you wear a standard width, that's D. If standard width is a little bit too wide for you, you're probably a C. If you're in a wide shoe, it's probably an E. Or if wides are not quite wide enough, well, you might be a double E. So, you know what? It's a crapshoot. There's no guarantees here. But, just use that scale and try and figure it out. Or if you're really narrow, you might have a B or an A. Now, if you buy shoes and your shoes are always kind of slipping back and forth sideways in your shoes, hey, you got a narrow foot and you have fits finding the right shoes, right?
So Steve, right? A lot of women think it's really important to have the right cup size, correct?
Most women do.
A, B, C, D. Okay. Oh, so men have shoes. Well, of course, women have their shoe sizes too, but so you're saying it's important for men to know their shoe size.
Yes.
So, okay.
Okay, now I'm going to test you, Nick.
Oh crap! There we go.
Okay, you used to be a pastor, right?
Yep.
And you used to kind of have to dress up a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. In a dress shirt, what's your shirt size?
Okay. It's about 17 in the collar, 34, 35 wrists.
Okay. So, see, Nick knows.
The arm length. Yeah.
Now, you ask most men, well, they'd be clueless. Well, I wear medium long, or a tall. I wear a large tall. Okay, guys, dress shirts used to come in sizes too. You had your neck size. Nick says 17. Mine was 15 and a half.
17 and a
maybe
half
16.
probably now, but yeah.
Yeah, I was 15 and a half. I'm probably 16. And then the length of your sleeve was the other measurement. So I have long arms, so I typically would need 35. So 15 and a half, 35 sometime. And then they started to cheat on those. Then you couldn't get 35. It'd be 34, 35.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? And why is it important? Well, today I am wearing a Nautica shirt, button down, and I'm wearing a sport coat. So, and you can see I'm getting fat because it doesn't quite fit anymore. But, okay, so if you look down at my sleeve, I'm going to have to move my camera here. Yeah, there. So, you see, you can't see my
right at the end of your wrist.
It should be, you should be able to see your shirt below your sport
Just
coat.
barely though. Well, That hasn't that
Just-
varied a little bit.
Just a half inch, maybe.
It used to be they wanted to see a little more than that, then it varied, and then but you want to see
But okay, so you could actually get your size. And how many people even know their sport coat size?
they don't.
Okay, I wear a 42 long. Now, and you get it tailored so it fits around your belly, but it's your width and the length of your arms. That's the 42
No, they
long.
also take the chest width. There's chest.
Right,
everything.
42 is basically the width of your shoulders. So this sport coat I also got off eBay, and it was under $100. And it's a Jack Victor, which is a Canadian company, and it's made in Italy. Oh, what? Look on the inside. Got some paper, and there's a pen pocket here.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I put a sport coat up, forgot about it, found something in the pocket I've been looking for like 6 months.
So, if you were wearing back in the day, you're wearing a sport coat, and you probably maybe had business cards. Remember those business cards, or maybe a piece of note paper in the pocket, and you got a pen. You know what? You meet a woman, you need her phone number. Well, rather than look like a doofus saying, "Hey, can I borrow a pen?" No, I got one right here. You come prepared.
Well, they
Okay,
don't do that anymore, Steve. Now that you type it in your phone.
I know. My
I think
point is
I think it's
not
actually
to go
past that.
back.
They got like supposedly like there's an Instagram scan thing you can do. Look,
Yes, there is, and the girls
not
actually
gone that way.
the girls actually don't like the. I mean, they might think it's it would be an interesting, like, they've never seen it before, but they actually the girls want your Instagram so that they can look at your social media cloud. That's why they're doing it. It's not actually about getting your details anymore. So like, we're talking about the shoes, and the shoes make the man, and women look, and they do, but now it's not just enough to have the presentation in person. You got to have the presentation on the internet too, or they won't, or
Yeah,
they won't talk to you.
Care, I don't do it.
I'm just saying what they're actually doing. And in that sense, it has gotten a lot more. I'm not going to say more difficult, but more involved for guys. Because
Yes. Okay. Consider this. Up until the cell phone, maybe even a little bit after the cell phone, when it was a dumb phone. How did you connect with women? Okay, you went out, you met a woman. Okay, if you were going to get in contact, she'd give you her phone number. Yeah, it could be fake, but in general, if she was into you, there'd be no reluctance to give you her phone number. And then she couldn't really look up anything about you. She could ask friends if she knew, but you would actually call her on the phone. And they didn't have all this voicemail stuff. Maybe they had an answering machine. But people
I remember that. And you didn't want to get the dad on the phone when I was.
And you know what? They gave out their phone numbers a lot more freely. Well, I guess I haven't been out to figure out how easy it is to get a phone number from a girl. But this was before they couldn't even block people back then. And if you knew her name and her last name, you know what? They had these things called phone books.
Oh yeah, white pages and all that stuff. Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe she wouldn't be in the phone book, but if you knew her father's name, you'd have a good chance of being able to call her. Now, oh, we don't share our phone number with just anybody. That's private. Even though if I call you and you don't like me, you can block me. But no, we're careful with that. I mean, how much more difficult do you want it to be to have men connect with men and women connect?
That's something. Well, so here, I'll say something that's really interesting. Like, I noticed this when I was doing car sales. Is the older generation, they loved it when you just, I mean, you didn't pester them, but you gave them a phone call. You said, "Thank you for coming in. Here's
I'll
some
be right back."
information. If you want anything, you can stop by." They love that. They had no problem giving your number. They wanted you to call them generally if they gave you the number, as long as you didn't pester them. But especially the guys are weren't so bad. The younger guys, they didn't really care if you called them. So they're like, whatever, no big deal. But it's like the young ladies, they really didn't want the phone call, but they'd respond like hell out of text messaging.
Okay, so I actually have now it is anecdotal data from a business I work with, but they do marketing as part of their, of course, as part of their business, and it's a service business with like a recurring service business. So you have to bring your thing in every X number of months to get it serviced, and they serve a range of ages. So boomers, they mostly respond to phone. A lot of them have email, but you're not going to get a lot of response off that. Texting, don't even bother. With Xers, you can actually do all of it. You can do phone, you can do email, you can do text message. They will pick it up wherever you are. But here's where things get interesting. Millennials and Zoomers. If you call them, they will never come back to your business. If you email them, they will block you almost automatically. You can, however, if it's a very short message that is timely related to, because it's a recurring service, so it's on a schedule. In that case, yes, you can come up with a text message and send it out a couple weeks in advance, and that works. But you do not send emails, and God help you if you have the temerity to call them, you'll actually get an earful.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, you actually need to get permission
Legally
from the
now,
woman.
yes.
Acceptance, maybe not permission, acceptance that she'll take your phone call. And you better have your name in with the phone number. Otherwise, she'll ignore it, especially with younger women. But, women have gotten more and more paranoid of, oh, something bad might happen to me if I even talk to this guy.
Yep, they'll get a random guy on Tinder or whatever else. Hey, but it's an app, so it's okay.
And somehow that makes it safer, right, Nick?
Oh.
Okay, tech guy here. Ladies, no, it is not safer at all. Sorry, that's no. One of these days, I should do to on how easy it is to geolocate you from your pictures. There was a guy who actually he geolocated a person, just a random person on Twitter that he was interacting with, and the picture was just her hand in grass, and he geolocated her exact house. Any picture you put up out in public can be geolocated at a degree that you guys are. You ladies are frankly stupid on this one. You're just dumb. It is so easy to do. And he said it took him about 2 hours to do it, but it and that was a complicated one.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's
That's
her
actually
picture.
scary.
Yeah, it's just her picture it's just her hand in grass, and he figured out what grass it was. He figured out based because he knew when the picture was taken. He was able to figure out based on the status of the grass. It was mostly green with a little brown, so he figured out where the grass could be on the basis of like watering and rain and whatnot. Guys, ladies, no, you're not safe posting pictures on the internet.
Yep. So this stream is a little bit about how things have changed. So I got some more shoe information here.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to show you some more examples. Okay, here's something that I never would have bought if I'd had to pay retail. Good. Do you know what color these shoes are?
Is it like charcoal?
Maybe it doesn't show up in the color. They're actually blue.
Okay.
You've heard about blue suede shoes. I got some blue. Well, they're actually nubuck. They were advertised as black. Well, when I cleaned them up, no, these things are blue, and I had to spend some money restoring them. Good. Man, there's this shoe. Good. Now, how old do you think this shoe is?
I'd say from the 80s.
You want to guess, Plutarch?
That actually kind of looks like the 30s.
I had the heels replaced. You know what? You're closer. These are from the 1940s.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I was way off.
So, yeah, I paid, I don't know, 115, and they were kind of wrinkled over the toe, and so I restored them. So now, what are shoe trees? How did I restore them? Okay, so a shoe tree is a form that fits in the shoe. So you wear your shoes. You've got nice shoes like this. You don't want all those toe creases. You don't want curly toes like this. You see how it's kind of like a ski jump here? It's curly
got the little
toes.
thing
Nah. You want straight toes. So you get home, you get shoe trees, you put them in your shoes.
Huh.
You leave them in here for 2 days. Then you can take them out and store your shoes. So you don't need a shoe tree for every pair of shoes. So that's how you preserve your shoes. That's the most important thing. Get a pair of shoes, get shoe trees. Now the shoe trees I
And
just
most
showed
guys have
you.
no idea. Most guys have no clue what a shoe tree is.
Right. Well, they don't have nice shoes. Now, the shoe tree I showed you was made in China. You can get it on eBay for $29 shipped. Now, these are some old shoe trees. Like this. This shoe tree is stamped 11-4. A, B, C, D. 4. 11, and the 4 stands for D. Guess what? They even made the exact width of shoe tree for your shoes. That's how customized things used to be. And then, okay, we talked about cobblers. Okay, how about these shoes? These are chukka boots. Oh, I didn't want leather heels. But if you see, it's got a sandwich of leather in here. But I had day-night soles put on these. And then if you see the heel, it's got a leather stack. I mean, these are sharp-looking shoes. So I bought them off eBay, and then I brought them to my cobbler, and it was like $150 or something to have soles put on them. And do you think my shoes are expensive? Well, I also have these. Okay, these are a pair of John Lobb. These aren't normal John Lobb. They got 2 lines, ready to wear and bespoke. Bespoke means they're customized. And that means you get your feet measured. They form what they call a last, the exact shape of your foot, and they custom make the shoe for you. John Lobb is still in business. I got these off eBay. But if you were to have, whatever style you want, custom made shoes are going to cost you $6,000, $6,000 to
Oh my
$7,000.
gosh.
So,
yeah,
guys,
that's not happening for me anytime soon.
well, it's not happening for me. But the fun of this is I own a pair of John Lobb bespoke shoes. They don't even have a size in them. They were just represented a certain size, and I bought them off eBay. And I had to do some work. They got a very poor resoling job on them, so I got to send them in and have them redone. It's going to cost $200-300 for that. So, it can get kind of expensive. Still not, it's a hobby. Let's drop all kinds of money on silly hobbies. If you're into guns, if you're into motorsports, you know how much money you spend. And you do it for your enjoyment. Ultimately, shoes are also a place to enjoy. But every man should have a nice pair of shoes. And you know what? That's why I'm going to do this giveaway, and I encourage our watchers to enter. Then here's the experiment. You take these shoes, put them on, and go to Walmart and do your shopping. And be observant of the people around you. How are they walking? What kind of shoes are they wearing? And you will realize quickly that there's less than 1% of the people who have decent shoes. Now, if you're a single man and you still are looking for a woman, why would you not increase your height by at least, inch and a half? Even if you have thick tennis shoes, okay, maybe it's the same. But you're going to change your stature. You're going to stand taller. You're going to walk better. He's going to look down. And now you better have shiny shoes.
Shine your shoes, guys.
It's so
It's
simple
easy. It's
and cheap. So what do? Go on eBay. Look around for different styles of shoes. Start with something with a leather sole, older shoe. So it's all curled. Okay, well, you need a shoe tree. You need a shoe tree of the appropriate size. Buy the wooden one from China for $30, right width. Okay, that one happens to not come in a width because it springs out to fill the toe box. Then, what do you need to fix up a pair of shoes? Well, I'll show you the basics. First of all, you got to clean the shoe. Remember, in the tanning process, leather gets wet. It goes through torture. And you're not investing a lot of money. So there's controversy over this. But what I do, I run it underwater and use saddle soap. It comes in a big tub. That'll cost you $10-15. And you need a brush. You suds it up and you use lots of water. You rinse it off. You can even do the sole with that. Then you put the shoe tree in. Kind of make sure that, that's going to uncurl the toe. It's going to be tough to get that shoe tree in because the shoe is kind of curled up. So once you get it in there, it brings the shoe back to its normal position, and it's all wet because you got it wet, you got the sole wet. You can even soak the shoe for a half hour or an hour. And then you let it dry for about 2-3 days. And it's gonna stiffen the shoe up. It's gonna take all the curl out of it. It's gonna take the toe wrinkles out of it. Once it's dry, okay, now your shoes have not been moisturized in probably forever. So you get something like this Bic 4 leather conditioner. And you just put it on your hands and you just rub it into the leather. And then after 10 minutes, you use a horsehair brush, brush it off. It hasn't been done, if the shoes are old, you probably want to do a second coat. And then you brush it. Then you think you got shiny shoes? Not quite. You want to get some shoe cream. This is not shoe polish, it's shoe cream. This one happens to be neutral. So it'll work on.
So why shoe cream and not? So you don't do shoe polish, huh?
Well, you can. You can
Okay.
do shoe polish, but if you get a neutral shoe cream, okay, it doesn't have any waxes. This is just further conditioner, and then you buff it, and you get
The natural color, natural leather color out.
Well, you get more shine, and you can
Okay.
get colored shoe cream too. But I tend to stay with the cream, and then you brush it, and you're probably good enough. If you really want a good shine, you get some wax. You just do the toes because the wax will crack if you have it over the area where your shoe flexes. That's called the vamp. You don't want to put wax on there because it'll crack and won't look good. But on the toes, if you have really shiny toes on your shoes, they're gonna think, "Ooh, this guy, he's looking good." I mean, it's almost like a no-brainer. And it's very frustrating when all the manosphere guys say, "Well, you can't do anything about your height." Baloney. You can increase your height a little bit, and you can wear shoes, and you can stand up a little bit taller. All of a sudden, she's not going to put you. Even if you're short, you've
Still gonna
enhanced it,
notice
and
the
you've
shoes.
moved yourself up a couple notches. And women
They
make
always
exceptions
they-
all the time, right?
Yeah,
They have these
but
hard
they
and
still
fast rules.
always notice the shoes. I'm telling you. They notice the shoes.
I like this comment here. Elegant shoes from a more civilized time. I love the multiple references there.
And it's almost what's the word? Instinctual. I mean, even a young woman, let's say she's 18, 20, and a young man who's 24, 25, he's wearing a pair of just nice looking dress shoes like would have been worn 40, 50 years ago. Look nice. She's instinctually going to say, "Woo, that guy looks nice." I mean, you got to pick the style a little bit, but in some manner, it doesn't even matter. You've moved yourself up into a 1% of men who even have a clue as to how to wear good shoes. Now you can also enhance it by wearing a nicer shirt. Are you wearing a t-shirt? You can upgrade it a little bit. You can go with a polo shirt, some kind of shirt with collars.
Yes.
Okay. And you know what? That baseball cap, everybody's wearing that. I don't care if you're wearing the trendiest one. And when the fashion was, it had to be a flat bill with the sticker still on it. Yeah.
You telling me I
still-
need to get a cowboy hat?
Hey, if cowboy hat is your style, if you're going to one of those line dancing places, yep, I think you need a big ass cowboy hat.
All right.
You know, Steve, you're talking about this, and I don't often have occasion to actually get dressed up. I'm usually either working in dirt and grease and stuff, or I'm at home. But I do travel a fair amount, and to all you guys out there, when you're flying on a plane, 90% of flight attendants are female, and I have a habit of wearing at least as slacks and a polo shirt and decent looking shoes. Guess what? The upgrades come easy. I can get the extra food. Oh man, these ladies like talking to me. Now I don't do this always. I will actually change my dress based on what I'm trying to achieve. And I don't wear dress shoes on the plane. There's actually safety reasons for why you don't want to do that. But it's like wearing a nice, just wearing a nice polo shirt, guys. In the modern age of the stupid baseball caps with the logos and all of that, that flight attendant has had to deal with hundreds of guys dressed like that a day. You show up anywhere on the plane dressed just a little bit better, slacks and a polo shirt with decent looking shoes that aren't ratty and greasy or whatever. It's like a breath of fresh air for them. You want to know what I get most? You guys may not know this, but the app that the flight attendants have now is your name associated with your seat.
Mhm.
The flight attendant
Okay.
will know your name. I get called Mr. Mr. Plutarch H all the time. Okay. Because those ladies want to talk to me. They want to treat me well. This stuff works, guys. In places you wouldn't think it works. And you're not trying to get laid.
No.
Yeah, well, I've
There's
I've
also
worn
a fake it till you make it,
I've
guys.
worn hats like this, and you
Mhm.
know what? Women actually compliment me on my hat. Sometimes I'm a truck driver, so uh, they'll refer if they don't know my name. They'll talk to another driver. Yeah, that guy with the funny hat. Well,
But you got noticed.
they got exactly. You got to do something to stand out. Now, okay, we've been talking about women, but come on, guys. There's also a pecking order among men. And if you're dressed a little bit nicer than the guy next to you, your opinion counts a little bit more. If you're in the corporate world, oh, okay, I'm 6 foot, but there was a guy a couple years younger than me. He was 6'4", and much broader shoulders and much better looking. Do you think he went up in the company quite a bit faster than me? It counts. The way you dress says a lot about you. Men put you in a category based on that, and women do. But don't dress up to impress others. Dress up because it shows who you are. Take pride in your dress. And you know what?
Have respect for yourself.
And this is probably what Nick would do. He would dress up and then he'd ignore the women, which then he'd be laughing on the inside because the better he looks and the more he ignores the women, the more they want him. He's told lots of stories kind of like that where, he's very opinionated. He comes in and he talks about it, but they can't leave him alone, even when he tries to ignore them. I mean, it's just classic Manosphere. It's classic game, and it's not. It's fun, but it's not to
Oh, it is fun.
manipulate women. It's just okay. You're in command.
Oh, last
of
night I
your-
wasn't manipulating at all. I told them exactly what I was going to do, and they loved it.
You know, there's a saying in the Manosphere that you don't want to give away the game. That
Oh,
you
I
know,
did, but they didn't care. It was fun.
well, but see, that's just I actually think they're treating it a little bit like magic. Like if you tell women the game that you're playing, that the women will all of a sudden be disinterested. I have never once
Not
found that to be
always.
true in practice. I talk with Elena about the game all the time. I tell her what I'm going to do right before I do it, and she still loves it. Also, Steve, you were talking about just the pecking order of men. I was at a conference recently. I had to get up and give a talk. And
Mhm.
I think this is something that a lot of guys don't think about. There were a lot of guys up there, well respected in the community, well known, and they were dressed jeans. At least nobody wore ratty jeans, thankfully. But just jeans, t-shirts. There were some button-down shirts and polo shirts. I got up there in my polo shirt and slacks, and when I'm talking, I always make sure I'm talking on a subject that I know well enough that I can just do it off the top of my head. So, because what I really actually want to do is watch the audience. And I can tell from watching the audience that they were paying attention to what I had to say. Now, sure, they're there. They want to listen to what I have to say, but they were engaged. And people came up to me afterwards and they asked questions and they want to talk about what I was giving my presentation on. How you dress absolutely does matter. And this is a group of men. There are probably 2 women in the whole crowd, right? Okay. How you dress has an absolute impact, not just on your interactions with women, but on your interactions with other men. And if you're in a business setting like this, it has an impact on how people in that business setting are going to perceive you. It just does. And I say this as a guy who hates getting dressed up.
No, here's another thing you could do. I mean, this is all calculated. You have to decide if you want to do that. You could just find a suitable sport coat to wear over your polo. And it has practical purposes because it's got a lot of pockets. You're at a conference. Pockets are great. For your cell phone, for your tablet, for a pencil, paper, all that. Okay. You can get up there. They introduce you. You walk up wearing your sport coat. And then you have a chair up there or someplace. You take off your sport coat and you give your presentation because it gets hot up there and it's
Oh,
actually
it does.
easier.
I tell you.
Yes.
But the point is you're coming at a higher level, with your better dressed. And then when you get up there, taking this off so I can relate to my audience, but you're still just a
Okay.
tiny bit dressed better than them.
That-
Okay, that's another.
Okay,
Okay,
Steve, I got some
these are all
stories.
psychological tools.
Gentlemen,
I got some stories preaching in South Mississippi, old churches with no AC in the middle of summer. And I would forget to take my jacket off, sports coat or suit jacket. And you just see the sweat pouring off my face. And I'm thinking I should have taken it off. And they're like, "Did you forget to take it off?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I thought you were just fired up with the Holy Ghost.
Well, that too. I can get kind of
oh, we know.
impassioned. When it matters. Yeah.
Oh, we know. We know. Here's the thing, though. This is classic, timeless game right there. What Steve just described is an old school rapport building trick. I mean, that trick would have worked 100 years ago. Not all game is new, and it's not all. You could say, oh well, I'm sure the Evo site guys would say, oh well, here's what it is. And the engineer in me goes, that's fascinating information. Does it work or does it not? And this stuff does work.
There's a lot of stuff. And you know what? You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to spend some money. Now, if you're serious about fixing up some shoes, you're gonna forget all this stuff. You don't want to look at this again. There's a great website out there. It hasn't been updated for a while, but it has information on how to restore a pair of shoes. It has a list of all the old shoe companies in the US, and people are selling these on eBay for 20, 30. If you spend 50, 60, $70, you're actually getting higher quality there. But the name of the website is V Cleat, VCLEAT. And the reason it's called V Cleat is it's about was event, there's a strong group of people who collect Florsheim shoes, the old type with that metal V in the heel. That is the V Cleat.
Okay.
That's the classic. Now I'm saying don't buy a pair of those because you want a rubber heel. You want it more functional. That should not be your first pair. But that website goes into all kinds of shoes and, the classic shoes. But go out there and also just search for your shoe size and Allen Edmonds. Allen Edmonds Shoe Company or Allen Edmonds Shoes. Now, if you don't know your size, okay, well, could get it measured. Or you could just find a pair of shoes for find something that costs 10, $15, another $10 shipping. Let's just start out with a normal width shoe. Say you're 10 width, buy a D width, or 10 size, buy a D width. Comes, try on the shoe. It's too wide, say, gee, this one's not working for me. I know. Okay, you learn something from it. You're gonna actually see it in person. You can actually try restoring that shoe, even if it doesn't quite fit you. Maybe it's a loss, but you know what? It's gonna take time to learn it. Like with any skill, you're not gonna go
Was
in
there a way they
and restore a sports car the first time. You're gonna have to invest some time and money to learn the trade. And frankly, probably too late for your dad to tell you this, and he probably doesn't even know.
So how can they measure their own feet? Is there a way they can measure their own feet, Steve?
I think so. You can go. There's probably something you can download. Um, the old. Remember those shoe measurement devices?
Yeah, I used to go, you go to the store, they had all these slides and stuff on it, and
Yeah, that's the
the
Brannock
the
scale.
the, the salesperson would come up, and yeah, okay, here's your shoe
Yeah,
size, and sometimes they give
you can
recommendations
go
and
to a
stuff.
shoe store. You can probably go to any quality shoe store and have your shoes measured. Just try on shoes. I don't know if they have the, with all the widths on their shoe scale anymore. They might. I don't know if they've changed it. But okay, you don't have the answer? Figure it out. Get the answer. Not my problem to figure out your shoe size. That's your problem. Okay, you got a problem, guys. Solve the problem. That's what guys do.
All right.
So I don't
No.
really have that much
So
more
you're
to
big.
talk
You
about.
like Allen Edmonds and you like Florsheim. Any other brands you would recommend?
Oh, I've some old Nun Bush, NUNNBUSCH. Probably my favorite sleeper brand is called Executive Imperial. They were made by Mason Shoe Company. They were a catalog company. My dad used to be a Mason shoe salesman. He was a construction worker, but he got the Mason catalog and he bought all his work boots there. But they had dress shoes there too. So yeah, if you want to stay safe, I would not go with Johnston Murphy because their quality went down. So I'd stick with Florsheim or Allen Edmonds, Executive Imperials. There's still quite a few of those out there.
You don't like my Clarks?
I've never gotten into Clark's.
Okay. I probably got about 5 pair.
Yeah, well, I mean, you find what works for you. But hey, you can't go wrong. You piss a lot of money away on a lot dumber things than this.
That's true.
So, Plutarch, I sent you a pair of shoes. Have you worn them yet?
No, sir, I haven't. I don't want to.
Have you even tried them on?
No, not yet. I haven't been out of
You-
the house much because I've been sick, so I haven't been putting shoes on in general. I will. I remember the holidays are coming up, and
I know.
holidays are
Oh.
one of the holidays. Guys, holidays are a great chance to show off your higher level fashion sense here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, beware of cuffing season though.
Yeah.
Or use it to your advantage.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we talked about shoes, but usually, we what about socks?
Don't wear white socks.
Yeah, mine are black right now.
What about blue socks and tan socks and black socks? Should you wear black socks with the brown shoes?
Probably not. But if you're wearing jeans, I mean, okay, all the shoes that I showed you, you can wear those with jeans. You do not need to wear khakis. You can wear a pair of the long wing brogues. They look great with jeans. Actually, oh, here's another bit of trivia. Okay, everybody thinks a shoe like this is a fancy shoe. No, it's not. All these little dots in there, oh, that's called broguing. And broguing comes from Scotland. Because way back in the day, the Scots used to walk through all the wet, marshy ground, and their feet would get wet, and they'd punch holes in their shoes so the water would run out. So
I
it
didn't know
became
that.
a fashion item. And so the more broguing in your shoes is less formal. More formal is plain toe or cap toe, where it just like let's see.
It's where it's got the band. for
This
the
one
toe,
is a
right?
cap toe,
Yeah.
but this would
Yeah.
actually be a more formal style without the broguing. But I could wear that with jeans. I can wear the other one with jeans. And then if you're wearing with jeans, nobody's looking at the color of your socks. But if you're going to wear khakis, yeah, you probably should have some khaki colored socks to go with that. You're not going to wear black socks or white socks. And if you're wearing a pair of blue chinos or something, probably should have some blue socks. You
So you're
don't
saying your
want
socks should
anything out of
match
character.
so the socks should match the color of your khakis generally?
Yeah, unless you want to wear some funky socks that are a contrast.
Well, like let's say you have brown shoes, brown leather shoes. You have kind of a tan or white pair of pants. Could you pull off some blue socks?
Probably not, but you could
Oh,
have some green socks. You could even have socks with little frogs on them because they're funky socks now, but they're in the same color scheme. You don't want them. I mean, just women know how to match colors. Guys should have a little bit of color sense too. But if you have no color sense, just wear plain colored socks that match the color of your pants.
okay. So when in doubt, have them match the color of your pants.
Hey, yeah, let's keep it simple. All we're doing is trying to encourage people to get a good pair of shoes. Let's not confuse them with, oh, now I got to worry about what socks to wear with it. No, just
Yeah, okay. So if you have brown shoes, should you wear a black belt?
Now Nick's just trying to confuse our viewers here.
No, some coordination's important. It'll ruin the whole thing. You'll look like a doofus.
women are way more critical than men. Women will notice things that men would say, who cares? So, yeah, you're wearing black shoes, don't wear a brown belt. On the other hand, if you're wearing a nice pair of black boots, I mean, they're making work boots now that look, well, you can get kind of a crossover between boots, work boots and dress boots that look pretty nice. I guess even then, you know what? If you're going to invest in the shoes, invest in a matching colored belt.
So have some sense. Black shoes, black belt. Brown shoes, brown belt. Hey,
Sure.
and you know what? Sometimes they make belts with brown on one side and black on the other. You just turn it.
Yep.
They might not last
So-
very long though, but it would make
So-
sense.
Okay, let's just summarize. We're encouraging men to step up their fashion. And okay, you don't have to do anything else. You can start out with just shoes. Get a nice pair of shoes and learn how to shine them up and see how that works for you. Then, match your belt. And then consider upgrading to a collared shirt. Okay, everything you do kind of changes the way others see you, but it changes the way you see yourself. You don't have to do it all at once. But we also showed that, some of the old advertisements, men cared about this stuff 50 years ago. If they cared about it 50 years ago, they cared about it 100 and 150 years ago. And you know what? If you're not caring about it, you're doing something wrong. Have you gotten dumber? Really? We complain about how women are so superficial. Well, you know what? You kind of have to play the game. If you're out looking for women, okay, or trying to meet a woman, why not tip the scales in your favor? Why not present yourself in the most possible light or the best possible light.
Hey,
And
Steve, I got a better way
if
of saying
nothing
this.
else,
Get your
just
head out of your ass. Get your head out of your ass.
just befuddle her. You wear nice shoes, and all of a sudden she can't just put you in the do not pay attention to category. The loser. I don't care about that. No. Whoa. He's got nice shoes. Now she has to actually think, what category am I going to put him in? Well, maybe I'd actually talk to this guy. She might find out you're a little bit funny or you have similar interests. All it takes is some minor change to change the outcome. So remember, I got this contest. All you have to do to enter the contest is comment. Leave your shoe size and the width. If you don't know the width, just say average or normal. And then I'll talk with you. We can kind of narrow it down. You know what? This is fun for me. I want it to be fun for you. I want to encourage you. So don't be afraid to enter. My guess is all these prizes are going to go unclaimed. Don't let that happen.
I go pass on free crap to help them. That's sad.
All the time. All the time. Well, and Steve, you said something interesting there, and I mean it's a concept that we have worked on, but it's the idea that choosing not to play the game is still a choice. And yeah, I mean you can say, "Oh, well, I don't like the game, so I'm going to choose not to play it." Okay, but don't be surprised when you don't get a choice in the results or the outcome of the game. You know, just and
Also, do it for yourself.
yeah,
Or, okay, let's assume a guy's not looking for a woman. He's a true MGTOW. Oh, come on, guy. Have some fun. Put on some nice shoes. Let the women notice you, and then ignore them. Can you imagine how much more satisfaction you're going to have by ignoring the women who want you rather than ignoring the women who are ignoring you?
What?
watch Steve. You're gonna deprogram all these MGTOWs. They're gonna meet some chick who can't get enough of this, and then they're gonna go, "Oh, I guess I gotta go take her on a date then." Huh?
Hey, if they don't have the self-discipline to stick with their ideology, that's not on me.
Oh,
Well, this has been a fun discussion, and we haven't gotten into any deep philosophical issues.
it's really
We-
unusual for us.
Yeah, it is, and we could have, but we actually kind of planned on not doing that this one, in part because we have a lot of deep philosophical issues coming up on our books. Speaking of which, Nick, I think you're on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's like what dealing with church, navigating
Oh,
marital
did we lose Nick?
problems with church ladies.
Yeah, and in the church
Goes my
hierarchy.
internet.
Or,
Okay, so did you guys hear me? Navigating marital problems with church ladies.
well, okay. I thought it was okay. Husband and wife go to the church to handle some dispute or some contention in their marriage. And you're dealing with the pastor of the church. She's going to try and get him on her side to use his influence to tell the husband that he's wrong. How are you going to navigate that?
Good question.
Yeah. So
It's not just the pastor; it's also the counselors that they might refer
Oh,
you
sure.
to. So it's both.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same.
it's the system.
So it's
So-
managing the process when your wife complains to church people.
So back to
Mm-hmm.
the heavy stuff on Wednesday. Is that what it is?
I don't know, it'll be semi-heavy, but it's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And Red Pill kind of talks about it a little bit. They just say, yeah, it's not good.
Well, okay, but saying yeah, it's not good is, and then what? Like, and
It's
then
a
what?
step. It's the last step before being wrecked. Divorce.
Maybe the red pill takes the view on it of if you ever get to that point, it's already over. And
Pretty much.
I'm going to be perfectly
It's
honest.
just self-justifying. Yeah.
I'm not
Give you
willing.
some help.
I mean, you can personally, and Nick invited us to share stories about this stuff next week, so you're going to hear some stories. Personally, I think if you've gotten to the point where she is trying to angle people against you, yeah, we'll get into that next week, or
Well,
sorry, on Wednesday.
Here's the other place I want to go with this. Doesn't start there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tim Gordon just did a stream. No, I don't care for a lot of things he says. In general, I kind of agree with the guy. But anyway, he was going through the Catholic premarital program and talking about it. And what an utter crock of shit piece of garbage it is. And going through some examples. And it's promoting really egalitarianism, modernity, female empowerment, all this crap that we in the manosphere just say, oh, that's where our problems come from. So if your church has that ideology or belief, I don't know if you call it an ideology, and you know what? It's not just Catholics that have that. I mean, we've made fun and talked about the servant leader model. Well, sorry guys, I came from the evangelical church. They have a mixed up view of marriage. And if your church starts out with a mixed up view of marriage, and then your wife goes and complains, or you have marital problems, you're asking for the church to intervene and help you, they're not going to help you. They got it wrong.
We might cause some trouble with this one, guys. That's kind of par for the course.
I was gonna say we like causing trouble. I don't know. I've got a series of like 4 streams. I need to figure it out. It's going to be a big one. I'm probably going to try and push those to after the election because I actually want people to listen. And hey, we're going to be doing some stuff like that where we're actually avoiding election issues, talking about church stuff, talking about hey, shows like tonight where we're mostly just shooting the shit over fashion. Although I don't know, do we have another fashion one planned? I don't think so. But stuff like that. So I mean, we will be trying to piss people off, partly because Nick enjoys it so much, but partly because somebody's got to say this stuff. So yeah, stick around, guys. We've got a lot more coming.
Yeah.
With that, guys, please like and subscribe. See us Wednesday, 7:30 Central, 7:45 Central, 5:45 Pacific. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care and comment.